hoping that the storm would roll up from the south and disrupt it. That is definitely not the case with this. So this will continue moving over towards Grinnell, and very worried about this one. If this continues, this is unfortunately an indicator of a probably more significant tornado at this point. And we already showed you, this one has a history. Remember the photo we showed you earlier when this one was over in Scott County? Let me go over, I'm using the Goodland radar now. Let's see if we get any kind of debris signature now. Go over to the row HV, and no debris signature yet. Again, we're pretty far away from Goodland, but based on that velocity signature, this is the most serious storm in all of KAKE land at the current time. As we go through the night, we'll probably be seeing other thunderstorms take advantage of the atmosphere and produce this, but there you go. Past 30 minutes, watch that weak kind of disorganize. Once you get the brightest colors touching each other, think about watching a figure skater. And when they go into a spin, they got the arms out. What happens when they pull the arms in? The rotational velocity increases. That's what's going on here. We call this, the parlance, a stinger. You got the really hot outbound right next to the really hot inbound in terms of velocity. And this is inbound towards the radar over Goodland. That's right outbound from the radar at Goodland. And that's approaching I-70 as we speak. And if we had any kind of updates from the Dodge City office, from the Goodland office in terms of any kind of spotters or anything associated with these thunderstorms as they were moving through?
I am trying to keep up with them because there are so many reports kind of all coming in all at once. Let's see, their old video, they have been sent in to them about it being on the ground near Gove. Let's see. Yeah, around just about 10 to 15 minutes ago, that's where they kind of saw that video kind of come into them with that. They're still watching that kind of area. I kind of am searching to see if we have any of those KDOT cameras in the area of where that tornado potentially could be right now to see if we can see anything. The closest one I have, there's a lot of raindrops covering the entire camera, so it is really hard to see right now. So it is kind of something that I'm trying to sift through to see if I can find anything. Jay?
Okay, awesome. Thanks for getting on that. And again, send us those reports. You know, the ticker shows at the bottom of the screen every now and then, but that's still a very strong area of circulation. And in terms of getting close to I-70, it is getting very close. We're only talking about 3 miles from crossing I-70 here. So, you know what, if you happen to know somebody that's traveling on this chunk of I-70, make sure that they've got, you know, the KAKE First Alert weather app. Let them know, hey, very likely a tornado about to cross I-70 in the vicinity of Grinnell. So take those tornado precautions. You know, if you haven't gotten to Greenfield yet at K23, stop. If you're heading, you know, eastbound, you're over at Oakley on I-70, stop. Let this storm pass before you continue on this stretch of I-70. That continues moving on. Stephanie, you said you had one of the KDOT cams? Okay, so this is from Greenfield. And right now, again, we're just, it's very close. We're pointing down at the road surface itself here. We got traffic moving here. But honestly, I don't know whether we're looking eastbound or westbound, but definitely I would, you know, avoid traveling on I-70 until this storm continues to move on through. Let's continue to back the view out, and then we'll head. The other circulation, unfortunately, is improving once again. Let's go over to Alicia. Let's see what Alicia's got from her point of view and see if she's getting a little closer to that. Looks like she's moving across, and hopefully we'll get an intercept here soon, because that second area of circulation, now this is to the southwest of the city of Gove, is unfortunately getting stronger. It is currently not warned. I think a warning's probably going to be coming out just based on the fact this thing's wrapping up. So let's go back over to KAKE's First Alert Doppler. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that's the very likely tornado in progress. It's about to cross I-70, and this one is developing. No tornado warning right now, but this is the part of the storm that did produce a tornado down in Scott County. We showed you the video of that earlier, and it is reorganizing once again. So currently, Gove County is the county in all of KAKE land in terms of this tornado threat. So we continue this. That one's going to cross I-70 near Grinnell. And then this one is getting more reorganized. The way it's moving, it may miss the city of Gove off towards the west. It's going to be a close enough call where if you're around K23, especially you're north of the city of Gove, you need to, you know, go ahead and exercise those tornado precautions, because very likely we're going to see a tornado warning get reissued for Gove County based on that second circulation. So we got two different areas that we're continuing to watch here. Let's continue to expand the view across northwest Kansas. Northwest, earlier Cheyenne County had a couple of warnings. Those have moved out. We go back over to the reflectivity mode of the radar, and then we're going to start across northwest Kansas, and we're going to make our way back over towards greater Wichita. So here we go. Let's start with the severe thunderstorm. Oh, now they just issued okay, I got the one out of Gove County. That's moving to Sheridan County, and they surrounded that with a severe thunderstorm warning. And then we got the severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Trego County, also for just extreme western Ellis, for eastern Lane, and for northern Ness County. And that's going to be more of a hail threat. And notice they put tornado possible just because in this environment, we're going to keep an eye on those southwest flanks. And then we're going to slide down towards the southwest. And you notice that other severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Edwards County at this point. That thunderstorm still capable of producing some larger hail across Edwards County, up to 1 inch in diameter until 7:15. Saline County, you're still under a severe thunderstorm warning. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7:15. Elsewhere across south central Kansas, they went ahead and let those warnings expire. So let's get you into the storms of the moment. Tell you what, let's investigate what's going on here in Ness County, just to put it in motion over the past 30 minutes, because even though it's a severe thunderstorm warning, let's look and see if we can find any kind of rotation on that. We go over to the Dodge City office. So here we go, looking at Dodge, looking over the base velocity, and let's roll over the past 30 minutes. And okay, not really seeing anything strong here. We're going to see if this gets cleaned up, but I'm going to, a couple of little suspect areas that will bear our attention that we're going to watch. Weather Service is going to be watching this too. Let's go over to Goodland, and we're going to look at the base velocity from their angle. They're a little farther away. Okay, kind of see some weak rotation there. Okay, let's go back over to Pilar Pedraza. Pilar?
Yeah, Jay, we are just getting some more damage reports in from Scott County. Remember, we said that they had crews out checking to see what was going on. They expected to have more, and we do have an update now. We know that there was one abandoned house destroyed. We have railroad cars on their side. Power lines down, as we already knew, as well as they've got multiple reports of damage from Modoc. That's about 8 miles west of Scott City. So we have, again, an abandoned house that's been destroyed. We have railroad cars on their side. We have power lines down and multiple reports of damage from the town of Modoc, which is about 8 miles west of Scott City. Now, actually, here in Wichita, we're actually also dealing with an issue because of the weather. They have an alert to emergency down at the airport. And that means that they have a general aviation aircraft. This is not a commercial flight. So we're not talking one of the big flights that comes into the airport, but a private plane or some other general commercial or a general flight that may be coming in with some shipment of stuff. It apparently got hit by lightning. They are concerned that it is in danger of crashing or having a problem landing or flying. That's what an alert 2 means. And so they are scrambling police and fire down there. We also have a crew on the way there as well to cover that situation and find out what all is going on. So lots of updates coming in. And please, we continue to ask if you are a sheriff or a sheriff's deputy in one of these affected counties and you have information you need to get out to your public, please give us a call. That number is 316-946-1331. Again, that's 316-946-1331. Jay?
All right, thanks a lot, Pilar. Let's kind of give you the rundown once again. Everything in yellow, severe thunderstorm warning, Saline County, also for parts of Jewell County, and then you get the tornado warnings for for Gove County into southern Sheridan. Now, I want to take you down to the south here. Let's get to meteorologist Cameron Venable. You'll see he's on a severe thunderstorm warning, and Cameron, it looks like you're actually getting some reorganization.
Yeah, I'm noticing our radar's starting to ingest another storm and trying to get more of a hooking appendage. But as you can see with my view, there is just dense fog. It is incredibly hard to see. I'm in the notch of inflow, so there has been some clearing. So I'll keep you guys posted if I do end up seeing something that would be off to my northwest. But I'm driving up US 183 just about, I believe, looks like 5 or 6 miles north of Greensburg. Jim.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's go back over. Here's meteorologist Cameron Venable. You see his position right there, and he's looking at this part of the storm to see if it's going to get reorganized once again. With the fog, his visibility is limited a bit. I understand we got an update from Pilar. Pilar, what you got?
Some important information from Logan County. Their emergency management office has just posted to Facebook that the Grinnell tornado sirens are malfunctioning. They're saying, please take cover now. This is a very dangerous situation. Again, in Gove County, the Grinnell tornado sirens are malfunctioning, and they're asking folks to please take cover at this moment. This was posted just about 3 minutes ago, so this is brand new information.
Yeah, and that's the storm that we've been talking about. The fact that, that was the one that started in Scott County, produced the photo what looked like a wedge, moved through Logan County, moved through Gove County, moving towards Grinnell. So that's the storm that continues to reorganize itself, and absolutely. And again, Cameron is on this one, and he's going to let us know if this, redevelops into something we're more concerned about. Notice he continues north on 183, so he's got that one well in his sight. So now we're going to pan up and get you into the storms. We'll touch base here in Ness County in a second. So here we are. Again, Grinnell, you should already be down in your shelters from what we were telling you earlier. Let's go back over to the velocity data and see where that storm is now. The Goodland data was providing much better velocity data, so let's go back over to the base velocity. And this is very close to Grinnell. You need to be in your shelters now. If you haven't, you got to hustle. Got to hustle, because this is continuing to track, and it's in the process of crossing I-70 as we speak. This very strong indication of rotation of a tornado, unfortunately, is in the process of crossing I-70 right at K216 in Grinnell. Cannot stress enough, if you're in Grinnell, you need to be in your shelters already. You must get to your shelters now based on that. And as Pilar was saying, that the sirens have malfunctioned. So hopefully Weather Service Radio, the KAKE First Alert weather app is also a great way to get warnings as that continues to cross I-70 as we speak. It's going to cross very soon here. If you're traveling on I-70, stop. Do not go past Greenfield if you are headed westbound. Do not go east of Oakley right now if you are headed eastbound. Got to let this storm pass, because this is unfortunately the strongest indication of a tornado that we have in all of KAKE land at the current time. And as we slide down to the south, you will see that other circulation that we were talking about. This is a rotating thunderstorm. The Weather Service, no tornado warning yet. It is a rotating storm, not a real tight rotation, but this is off towards the west of the city of Gove. This gets a little better organized. Warning may be coming out for that, but let's pan on down to the south and show you what's going on to the north. We're going to let another sweep of radar come in here, but this is in the process of, okay, it has crossed I-70 now. So that has moved, got the latest radar data sweep. So that is now north of I-70. So that has moved to the north. It's now past Grinnell. So Grinnell, if you were impacted by it, you've already seen the worst of it, and it's now on the north side of the interstate. So it's crossing out of Gove County. That's the Gove County, Sheridan County line now. So that circulation is now into Sheridan County. This is going to stay away from Angeles. It's already well southeast of Angeles at this point, but it's to the west of K23, and we'll be tracking towards Hoxie. Now the good news is, yeah, it's rotating, but it's not the stinger that we had as it was approaching I-70. So this is an improvement in terms of what we're seeing on the Doppler radar, but the storm has produced multiple tornadoes likely. The first ones were down in Scott County. We showed you the pictures of those, and now it's moved into southern parts of Sheridan County as that continues to track to the northeast. So Hoxie, I'm going to back the view out so you can kind of get Hoxie in relation to where we are here. But there you go. So there's Hoxie. That area of circulation basically right on the county line at this point. So from Hoxie, we're talking only about 14 miles off to your southwest. Now the good news is the circulation is not nearly as strong as it was, so maybe there's no longer a tornado. Maybe we're finally getting the influence of that southern storm here. Alicia Short is close to the southern flank of that storm. Let's pick up her stream live. She's looking at the southern flank of the storm. Now remember, this earlier did produce a tornado. Let's go ahead and take it full so you can see the lowering of that. Okay, looks like she's buffering a little bit here. But okay, we got the lowering of the cloud there. We'll see if we can kind of pick up any rotation with her. So we'll see if that stream updates and cleans up in just a second. So okay, let's go back out to the radar at this point. And as we do, I'm going to take one more look at the velocity data off this part of the thunderstorm. So let's go to Goodland. Goodland's been providing better data from this, just the better aspect ratio into that. So I'm going to zoom in here west of the city of Gove. Right there, away towards not the tightest circulation, but this is west of the city of Gove. So if you're in the city of Gove proper, that area of circulation is going to miss you off to the north. And then what was very likely a tornado that crossed I-70, what's left of that circulation is now into parts of Sheridan County. And just a reminder of those tornado safety precautions. Let's go over to Hannah Dennis. Hannah?
Yes, for anyone that's going to be in those tornado warnings, just a good reminder that the best place for you to be, lowest floor of your home and in an interior room, a place that does not have any windows because you do not want to have anything flying through those windows. So places like a closet, an interior bathroom, those are good places to be at. And even if you are in a house that has a basement, that is one of the best places that you can be at during a tornado warning. So that is where you would want to be, because it is going to be the absolute lowest place in your home with no windows, and it's going to be a really good place for you to stay safe as a tornado is moving through the area. So that is definitely where you would want to be if you are going to be in a tornado warning. Jay?
All right, thanks a lot, Hannah. Let's get back over to KAKE's First Alert Doppler, and that area of circulation again, not worn. It is rotating. Alicia, I think we got her string back up now, so we can take a look from her vantage point. She is very well positioned where if a tornado is going to develop, we're going to capture it here live on KAKE because she's on the southern end of this. Keep in mind, this has produced a tornado earlier in Scott County. So we got our KAKE First Alert Storm Tracker. This is Alicia Short. She is in position to show us if this thing should drop a tornado. You can see a little bit of terrain there that she's navigating with the dirt roads, but well positioned to take advantage of that. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's get an update from meteorologist Cameron Venable if we can. It's been a while since we've talked to Cameron. Let's get over to Cameron and see what's going on with him. Cameron, you with us?
Yeah, I just stepped outside. I'm trying to see if I can see, and I really just can't see right now. I'm off of 136, I believe, and 130th Avenue. So I'm at the bend, and let's go back out and look. And I mean, there's just no visibility. But the thing is, due west of me, radar signature is showing at least 60, 70 mile per hour winds, and on the back side of that, we're getting the red going away from the Dodge City radar, green's going towards. So we have some sort of area of rotation passing by. So that's something I'm trying to see, but it's going to be very hard to see with all of this reduced visibility and low clouds. Jim.
All right, thanks a lot, Cameron. So here is where he is. That's his location, and he's looking back into this part of the storm, and he's kind of dealing with some reduced visibility issues, which is kind of hampering, but he's very well positioned where if this should tighten up and, given the environment, produce a tornado, he's really perfectly positioned where he's going to be able to capture that for us live here. So Cameron is already set up and good to go. So we're going to set up and go over to the velocity data off Dodge City. So there you go, base velocity, 0.5 degrees. And then right in there, this is not rotational like he was talking about. This would be just gusty winds here. So he's ready for that. But that is where if we're going to get that tornado to spin up, it's going to be right in that little area, that little circulation there. That's going to back out a little bit. I'm going to throw that in motion for you over the past 30 minutes and get a better look at it. We'll see if this evolves. See, it's kind of getting better organized at this point. No guarantee that it's going to do anything, but Cameron, you know, is right over here in the bend, so he's where he needs to be in terms of being able to get that for us. So, okay, let's get you updated on everything going on. No severe thunderstorms around greater Wichita and south central Kansas. The only severe thunderstorm warning that we have across north central is Salina in Saline County, and then we got another one up here in parts of Mitchell County. So we got those two areas under severe thunderstorm warning, and then we also have the 2 tornado warning, the one in for Sheridan County, but we have 2 areas of circulation that we continue to track. So let's zoom in here and let's go into Saline County, just kind of get an update on what's going on. Oh, Dickinson and Ottawa County. So I'm going to switch over to, let's use the Topeka radar for this one. So using the Topeka radar, base reflectivity here. We get into Saline County. Salina, things are improving there, but the warning does include New Cambria over towards Solomon. And notice how they've extended the severe thunderstorm warning into Dickinson County to the north and also for Ottawa County. That's until 7:30 for the potential for anywhere from about quarter size to a little larger than golf ball size hail. The severe thunderstorm warning for Saline County, that's been issued 7:15 for about 1 to 2 inch hail. Going to continue to pan on over towards the north here. We're going to switch over to the Hastings radar, and Beloit under severe thunderstorm warning along with parts of, Mitchell County. That in Jewell County is until 7:15. Again, 1.5 inch hail possible. Go over to the Hastings radar. That's going to give us a little better look at that. So there you go. The Topeka radar, the Hastings radar. Let's go to that base reflectivity. And there you go. Right around Beloit and to the west of Beloit, that is your best hail threat at the current time. So let's go over and we'll check out what's going on with our tornado warnings. Again, Sheridan County, still concerned about the rotation over in Gove County too. 2 areas. And then Cameron is down watching what is happening across southwest Kansas. Pawnee and Edwards, brand new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. But let's take you into the tornado warning for Sheridan County at this point. I'm going to zoom in. There we go. Got my zoom tool selected. That's it. So we'll get back over and let's switch over to Goodland radar so we can get a little better look at what's going on. So there's Goodland and there's your base velocity. And let's roll it over the past 30 minutes. That crossed I-70. And now it's getting better reorganized once again. So if this tightens up, it could produce yet another tornado, as it is west of K23 now. And Hoxie, you're going to need to keep an eye on this one. Now, the other circulation that's down to the south that we've been watching, the one that's passed west of the city of Gove, now northwest of the city of Gove, is this rotating? Yes, but it's not a real organized area of rotation. So that continues tracking over to the north. Let's go back over to Pilar Pedraza. Pilar?
Yes, the Sheridan County Sheriff's Office has just posted this. Once again, it's another county posting for Gove. They say that they have a confirmed tornado spotted near Grinnell. A confirmed tornado spotted near Grinnell, confirmed by storm spotters for that county. And remember that Grinnell, that's where we have the malfunctions in the sirens. They are urging people to take shelter immediately there because the sirens are not working the way they're supposed to. We do know that the sheriff in Gove County, the sheriff's office there, when we did speak with them, told us that that county took a direct hit earlier tonight. They had teams out looking for damage, monitoring the situation, and it looks like they have another storm coming through. Sheridan County Sheriff's Office reporting for Gove County that there is a confirmed tornado spotted near Grinnell, confirmed by storm spotters in the area. Jay?
And that circulation is now what's up here. So I know we have the confirmation of the tornado near Grinnell. Now the question is, what kind of damage did we get? So we're still waiting to get that information. So we got that still under a tornado warning. And what the Weather Service is doing again is they've got a really small polygon now because they're like, you know what? It got disorganized. So do we have enough confidence to continue a tornado warning north of there? The fact that this is kind of looks like a little bit reorganized once again, I wouldn't be shocked if we get a new tornado warning that's extended that includes Hoxie. So we talked about this earlier. Hoxie, this is your kind of your first alert. We got this back over to your southwest. It'll be tracking in your direction in terms of a tornado. It's already produced multiple tornadoes. Can't tell for sure if it's produced one at the current time, but we're looking at it. Let me go back over and see if we can. It's kind of far away from Goodland, so it's going to be hard to show, but let's go over. This is what we call ROHV. It is a debris detection product. But the debris, oh, okay. We did get a debris signature. Hang on. Let's zoom in here. Yes. Just before it crosses I-70, let's go back right there. Okay, I'm going to scrub through this in time. So I'm going to stop what I'm doing right now, and we're going to go back and right there. Okay, you see that drop into the blue? This is crossing I-70, so it's 6:55. This is a debris detection signature from the dual polarization of the Doppler radar. So yep, as that crossed I-70, very likely tornado was on the ground. That is a debris signature. Don't know if that was being kicked up before it was crossing I-70 or as it got towards Grinnell, but that is definitely a debris signature based on the dual polarization radar. And then we get over to the next volume scan. Notice how the debris signature starts to weaken a little bit. So I'm going to kind of continue to scrub through that. We go forward in time, and now the debris signature starts to kind of dissipate. So debris signature starts to form right there around 6:50. That's what you see. This is why we have dual polarization radar. And then we will go forward in time. There's the debris signature continuing across I-70, and then the debris signature weakens. Okay, brand new tornado warning, Sheridan County. So this is what we kind of knew what was going to happen, is that the Weather Service was kind of waiting to see if it got better organized, and there's enough organization where the Weather Service went ahead and now issued the tornado warning to the north, and we switch over to the velocity. So this includes Hoxie. So Hoxie, Tasco, you're now under a tornado warning. This has a history of producing tornadoes, and based on the the debris signature that we were showing there, okay, well, look, it's tightened up again. So I'm going to zoom in here and show you what's going on with that. Yep, this is getting, unfortunately, it's starting to reorganize once again. Man, I hate to see this. This thunderstorm is cyclic. It has a history of producing multiple tornadoes, and it looks like we got another one that's in the process. If it's not on the ground, it's spinning up. And we'll give you a relationship of that to Hoxie. So if you're in and around Hoxie, yep, I hope you've been already kind of preparing at this point, but now it's time to pull the trigger on those tornado precautions as this is heading in your general direction. So let's take you from Hoxie. We go back down towards the south. It is south-southwest, 10 miles from Hoxie, from the intersection there of US 24 and K23. And as we roll it forward, we go back over to that. Oh, well, let's go back over to meteorologist Cameron Venable. Cameron, looks like your storm is starting to get better organized. What are you seeing, Cameron?
Oh yeah, Jay, this thing is dragging the ground. The clouds are practically on the ground. We don't have a tornado at the current time, but just a second ago, we had just a beautiful hook echo right to my left. I am on Highway 183 and just trying to pull off, keep an eye on things. But I mean, the clouds, it's hard to see because it's going to be to our left. But I mean, these things are just scraping the ground. It's very hard to see in terms of visibility, but this thing's trying to do something, Jay. And as you can see with my indicator, I'm very close to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back over to KAKE's First Alert Doppler. There you go. There's Cameron's position. See the old classic hook getting right there? So if it's going to develop, unfortunately it's going to develop, looks like right on top of him at this point. But he is perfectly positioned where if this should form a tornado, he's going to capture it for us live here on KAKE. Let me go back over to the base velocity here out of Dodge. And yeah, okay, you see that right there? Let's roll that. And as we do, Cameron, you ready for this, bud? I mean, you're right, kind of close to the Bears cage. This is going to go down. You cool?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right. And I tell you what, is there a way we can leave Cameron's microphone hot so I can look at the radar, and if Cameron's got anything, he can just speak up and we can get immediately back to him, because he is really close to maybe something developing here. Go back over to that velocity mode. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning at this time, but right there, that's where we're going to watch to see if that continues to spin on up. I do want to get you back up into Sheridan County now and switch over to the Goodland radar.
That's the tornado intercept vehicle right there, guys.
Okay. Oh, you see.
On the right, look at this.
Did you just pass the TIV?
Oh, it's out of focus. That's the TIV right there. The tornado intercept vehicle. That thing is meant to ride out tornadoes.
Okay. So the fact that you're close to the tornado intercept vehicle is giving you thoughts, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm getting north.
Okay. All right, Cameron. So you be safe, and you continue to tell us what's going on.
I will.
Okay. So Cameron is on. Okay. We got some video from I-70, I understand. Do we know when this was taken? Okay. While we're getting that ready for you, again, the tornado warning still in effect here for Sheridan County, including Hoxie. That area of rotation has reorganized itself. It's tightened back up again. So I can't emphasize enough. If you live in Hoxie, if you live south of Hoxie on K23, time to take those tornado precautions. We already had one debris signature as this was crossing I-70 in the vicinity of Grinnell. We're still working to see what kind of reports potentially we're going to get out of Grinnell in terms of was any damage caused. And okay, there is a new tornado warning. This storm has been kind of teasing us with circulations, and now the Weather Service is issuing a brand new tornado warning for Gove County and Sheridan County. This is going to include Greenfield. Now, this one is not as strong a signature as what just crossed I-70 and is reorganized here, but right along K23, we've been talking about that's been spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and were they going to issue a warning that we had that one. So we've got the video from I-70. We got that good to go now? Okay. And oh, okay. So do we have a timestamp on this? Around 7? Okay, so the email around at 7:11, and was this near Grinnell?
Near Grinnell.
I-70 near Grinnell. So you can see the tornado there. A tornado is a tornado, but at least this one seems like it's more of a rope, which would make it a lower end. But based on some of the velocity signatures that we saw, definitely think it was stronger at one point in time, and we do have those debris signatures. Yeah, I noticed Hannah Dennis has got a list of some of the reports here with some of those storms. Hannah, what have you got?
Yeah, we've been seeing several reports of tornadoes kind of throughout the afternoon and evening here. These are the first ones that kind of came through that we were watching first up in northwestern Kansas, Colorado, and near St. Francis. Those tornadoes were reported. Then we had some tornadoes near Scott State Lake and the Monument Rocks. That was part of the reports that were coming through with those tornadoes. As far as hail reports go, we had a few reports of hail as well as we went throughout the night. They mainly were in a lot of it. The measurable size hail was in the central portion of the state. We had 2 inches out in Holyrood, a little over an inch out in Sylvian Grove. Same with Marquette, and 1.5 inches out in Heston. So they saw some considerable hail sizes. And then most recently, those reports of tornadoes out in Grainfield. And again, another report from Grinnell of seeing those tornadoes kind of happen as they were crossing over I-70. So those are kind of just some of the multiple storm reports that we have just seen pop up between hail reports, tornadoes, funnel clouds, even some thunderstorm wind damage. So we kind of have a little bit of everything with these storms that have come across. Jay?
All right, and let's get back over to meteorologist Cameron Venable. Cameron, let's give it an update from you.
Yeah, I did just see somebody report a funnel cloud. I'm not seeing it, but this is what I meant. Look how low these cloud bases are. And when I was, like Jay said, pretty much right underneath it, you could really see them being sucked in counterclockwise. But now I'm driving the other way, just to give you guys a view real quick to show you. But this is what we're looking at. So you don't really see a discernible wall cloud or anything like that. But needless to say, low clouds, and they are rotating. So as of right now, there is no tornado. I mean, look a little to the right.
Oh, Cameron, they just issued a tornado warning for you. They just issued a tornado warning for you, Cameron.
Okay, that sounds about right.
So yeah, so they just, I mean, so
let me see if I can flip her up.
So what you have got, they've issued a tornado warning, quote, based on radar. So we knew this was probably coming.
Makes sense.
It does. So Cameron's in the position, he's getting turned around. And I mean, we see, I mean, my goodness, like you said, the lowering is incredible because it's very close to the ground. But now they've just issued until 7:45 the tornado warning. And again, it's based on radar indications and also that it's capable of producing a tornado. And so you're looking live using meteorologist Cameron Venable. He is right at the location where if it's going to produce a tornado, that's where it's going to drop. So I'll tell you what, Cameron, just based on what you're seeing with storm structure, do you want us to hang with you just for like a minute or so? If you could double box me with this picture.
Yeah, that's fine. So, well, it looks like we're about to lose visibility, Jay. So what we're looking at right in front of us, that is the wall cloud. It was hard to tell that it's the wall cloud, but that is the wall cloud. You can really see it rotating on the left side of the video. I'm going to start moving up north with everybody. Look how fast it's moving on the left side of the video here.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I can see well, basically you're about to get overtaken, correct?
Correct. So that means it's time to go.
Okay. All right. So Cameron's going to reposition a little bit and then give us a view back here. So what he's doing is see if that's catching up with him here. So he's going to continue to slide up 183 a little bit just to kind of stay in the gap. I'm going to go over and we're going to show you the velocity data here while Cameron's getting repositioned at this point. So let's go over to the Dodge City radar, and here we go with the base velocity. And okay, pretty easy to see why they issued that tornado warning. It was kind of, a disorganized rotation, but now that rotation is getting a little better organized, and this is right in the vicinity of 183, essentially in Cameron's rearview mirror.
Oh wow! Look at how much the sun's coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, right.
because of the rear flank downdraft. That's an RFD cut. And so that is drier air being sucked in to feed the circulation. So that means we are close because the RFD is being pulled into the tornado. And usually, look at this. I mean, straight up, you could see the sun coming out. We're very close to this thing trying to produce something.
Cameron, about how much farther north do you think you need to safely get before you can kind of get your camera back into the location of the storm we're talking about here?
I'm just going to try to find a little turnoff. And so, I mean, I feel fine with, the next one, whatever that may be. That's someone's private property. I'm going to turn on that. But once I find something, I will definitely flip around. And we'll just kind of flip around, look, and then we'll just keep staying with it. But the fact that the sun's fully out, I mean, this is the rear flank downdraft. When you're out storm spotting, we call it the RFD cut. And that is exactly what's happening right now.
Okay, and we just got the latest sweep of the velocity here off the Dodge City radar, and that circulation, man, talk about, this thing's really moving, isn't it, Cameron? This looks like the best circulation is starting to get already to the east side of US 183.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to continue back to view out a little bit. I want to reset the scene for you. So that's the area of circulation that's now east of 183. That's going to be tracking east of Kinsley. So I know Kinsley, you're under the tornado warning. If you have the KAKE First Alert Weather app, you're within the polygon, and it is illuminating, let you know you're within the warning. But that area of circulation is now east of 183, and it's probably going to be crossing 150 between Kinsley and Lewis at that point. So if this tightens up, that's where the tornado, if it forms, will track. Again, it's going to be the east side of Kinsley over towards Lewis. Kinsley itself, you're probably going to miss this one, as that is going to be crossing 50 over towards you. So we'll let Cameron get repositioned. Let me go over and check the other tornado warning going on. Let me back the view out. Let's get you back up into Sheridan County and updated with that storm, because that one has had multiple tornadoes. I'm going to switch over to the Goodland radar. The Goodland radar we're closest to for these storms. So let's go over to, here we are, Goodland. We're going to go over to base velocity of 0.5 degrees. And then we're going to
that's a lot of water.
All right. Cameron, we got your audio hot if you want to get on air at any time. Thought I'd give you the heads up on that.
I'm just trying to dodge this flooding. Look at, wow. I didn't realize it's rained that much up here, but look at this on both sides.
Okay, go back to camera.
That's a problem.
Oh yeah, so
that is a problem.
We got localized flooding. So are you getting into Kinsley? Is that where you are now?
Yeah, I'm in Kinsley.
Okay, so we got some localized
navigating a little bit here.
Okay, and I'm assuming you're gonna, once you get up to US 50, you're planning on turning and going eastbound on 50?
Correct.
Okay.
That's the game plan. Thankfully, the water's not that deep, so we're good to go there. But as always, a rule of thumb, if you see flooded water, especially at night, you definitely want to turn around because you don't know how deep it is.
All right, Cameron, thank you very much.
I am turning right on 50 now.
Okay, so there's Cameron making the turn on to 50. Let me give you an update here in Sheridan County, and we're seeing some good news with this. Let me kind of back the view out a little bit to show you that the area of circulation is disorganized. Now that the Weather Service still continues the tornado warning that includes the city of Hoxie. It's until 7:45 Central Time. Kind of slide this back down to the south a little bit. But that area of rotation that did produce a tornado near Grinnell really tightened back up, probably produced another tornado here across parts of Sheridan County. Now that that's crossing 23, it's more disorganized. Go ahead and stay down near your shelters if you're in and around Hoxie, if you're south of Hoxie on K23, if you're between Hoxie and Tasco on US 24, but at least that area of circulation is not as organized as it was earlier. So that's some great news there. And then down to the south, remember we had this area of circulation that produced a tornado down in Scott County. We showed you a video of that. Got reorganized and then, kind of disorganized again. It's not super organized, but there's enough of rotation here that's already crossed I-70 right in the vicinity of K23 between Greenfield and Park. To it, as meteorologist Alicia Short, is her stream up and running? If it is, we can take a look at that because I know she was trying to approach that storm from the south. So, okay, she's on I-70 now, trying to get back up with that storm. So we'll continue to keep an eye on her stream to see what she's got updated. So this is KAKE First Alert Storm Tracker, Alicia Short, who's in the process of, just talk about driving through a lot of rain right now, but is currently on I-70 approaching the tornado warning that's in effect for Sheridan County. That's moving out of Gove County into Sheridan County, and probably going to be exiting pretty shortly to keep an eye on that one. So let's get you back over to KAKE's First Alert Doppler, and we're going to back out the view. So crossing I-70, she's driving to keep an eye on that. Let's kind of get you updated on everything going on in terms of severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. Everything in yellow is a severe thunderstorm warning. Well, Cheyenne County, a brand new tornado warning has just been issued. But again, that's like right on the state line. So we'll get to that in just a second. So here are all the severe thunderstorm warnings. We switch over and kind of load all the radars together so you can get the big picture. So there you go. Base reflectivity at 0.5 degrees. Severe thunderstorm warnings. That's outside of KAKE land. That's over in Lyon County. But get out of northern Saline into parts of Ottawa and Dickinson County. Then you get from Concordia, you get Cloud County over towards Mitchell County up to Jewell, parts of Smith County. Severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning for Edwards and Pawnee County. You got the severe thunderstorm warnings for Ness into southern Trego County. And then the tornado warnings in effect for extreme northern Cheyenne and also for Sheridan and northern Gove County. So let me give you a quick update with the tornado warning in far northwest Kansas. This will be getting out of KAKE land pretty darn quickly here. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to go over to Goodland at this point. So here's the Goodland radar. Let's go over to the base velocity. Roll it forward here over the past 30 minutes. And they issued, okay, right there. You see that? It's not the strongest indication of a tornado, but that is going to be crossing out of KAKE land over towards Hagler. So we're going to let that one go. Let's get you back into Sheridan County and what's going on with that tornado. Again, this storm has a history of producing tornadoes. The one to the north that's south of Hoxie now, this continues to improve in terms of it doesn't look as scary as it did earlier. So this is some great news here. Yes, it is a rotating thunderstorm, but it doesn't have the big yelling at you like that right there was a just screaming tornado signature. That's not there anymore. Sure, we still have area of circulation here, and notice it is that area of broad circulation is now just due south of Hoxie. I think that's going to miss off towards the east side now. So if you go from the intersection of K23 and US 24, it's only about 4 miles to the south. This is what's left earlier of that tornadic circulation. And if it stays this weak or this spun down, the Weather Service is probably going to let this one go or potentially cancel that warning. It's until 7:45. So you know what? That's another 20 minutes. We'll see if they let this go for another 20 minutes. So, but if you want to go ahead and continue those precautions between Hoxie and Tasco and down to the south, that's fine. And, you know, obviously erring on the side of caution, but this is much better news. And even the other circulation down to the south here between Greenfield and Park, there you continue to see that area of circulation right there. It's already to the east of K23. It's north of I-70 at this point. So it's extreme northern Gove County, about to get into southern parts of Sheridan. And then eventually, as it gets through Sheridan County, got quite a little ways before it gets over into Graham County here. But we're continuing to watch that. Let's go back over to meteorologist Cameron Venable. Cameron, what have you got?
Rapid rain bands, look at this. So I think I saw it was, yep, here we go. So I'm jetting to the east. Look at the rain bands, how intense they're getting. So I'm pretty sure I flipped around just momentarily before you're talking about that, and it was getting very close to the ground. So we are pretty much what we call hook slicing, driving right through the hook echo. There we go, it's lighting up a little better. Oh man, look at that behind me. I wish there was a way we could show you the video behind me because that thing's practically on the ground. As you can see, you see how the chasers are flipping their camera? Oh wait, Jay, I think there might be a tornado.
All right,
crossing right behind me.
Okay, we'll stay with you.
Hold on 1 second.
I don't know, be safe, dude.
Yeah, yep, there's definitely a tornado.
Okay, let's double box with Cameron.
So, Jay, there is a tornado.
Go ahead, you're live.
There's a tornado on Highway 50. It's just passing.
Okay.
I'm going to try to flip around very quickly so you guys can see.
Anna, you mind getting that report to the Weather Service that Cameron just gave at Dodge City?
There it is, Jay. You see it?
Yes, we do. We've got visual of the tornado. All right, Cameron. Yeah, you're alive. We have visual of it now. So, okay. For me, I can't. Is it?
Look at the motion.
Is it north or south of US 50 at this point?
It is north. Look at the motion in the tornado cyclone. That is, and look how large it is, guys. That's a straight up cone tornado right now. It is just north of 50. Let me measure out where I am in relation to Kinsley. I am 4 miles to the east of Kinsley. So this circulation is probably, let me double check. I would say it is 2 or 3 miles on. Jay, I think I might be seeing some damage. Hold on, I need to change the view real quick to auto, but I'm pretty sure I might have saw debris just now. Okay, I'm safe here. This is moving north of me. So you can see the tornado clear as day right in front of us. It looks like it's not nearly as large now, which is good news. But I thought I saw some debris. I'm not seeing it as much anymore. You know what? I'm going to move a little closer because once again, it is moving away. But yeah, right when you were talking about the other tornado warning, I pulled over and it looked like it was about to plant. And that's why I jetted to the east for that very reason. Because indeed it was getting ready to plant. So you can see it clear as day on the right side. And it does look like there might be some sort of debris. Yeah, that's some rapid motion. Look at the helical vortices around it, the little tiny funnels around it as it rotates. This is becoming more multi-vortex now.
All right, let's double box the camera.
Yes,
so we
there
can
is
just
a
kind of
tornado
I'm double boxing so I
ongoing.
can give everybody. Okay, here's Cameron's location. The tornado is to the north of 50 here, and eventually, if it continues north, we'll eventually cross 183 again. Again, this is already north of Kinsley. Kinsley, you're not going to be impacted by that, but the old Nettleton station is basically where it's going to be moving next. And then this is going to be crossing out of Edwards County and getting into Pawnee County at that point. So, you know, Cameron, your stream's hot. We're just double boxing here.
Oh,
so.
yeah, Jay, there's debris.
Okay.
It's hitting structures or something.
And we go over to the base velocity, and there you see it right there. You got to remember, it's going to take a little while for the radar to update. Cameron's going to be much faster than the radar at this point, but there's the outbound, the inbound. The yellow's away from the radar dots. The green's inbound as that crosses US 50. So that circulation that Cameron is on is now crossed north of US 50, and that will continue and eventually cross US 183 once again. So we're just going to stay live with meteorologist Cameron Venable. This is live coverage. Okay, just finally got the latest sweep of the radar here. So you see the circulation is between US 50 and 183. Again, this is going to cross near the old Nettleton Station location there. So Lewis, it's going to miss you. Kinsley, it's already missed you at this point. And we're just going to stay live with meteorologist Cameron Venable until this tornado dissipates.
Let's see if I can get a better shot.
So Cameron, I mean, your shot looks great. Let's go ahead and take a shot full screen again here, and just give us the play-by-play on what you got.
Okay, hold on one second. I am going to try to get the other camera up. That would be the better view. Let's see. So I'm gonna open the window. Okay.
In Cheyenne County, another tornado
Bear
warning.
with me
We'll get
for
to
a
that in a
second,
little
guys.
while. We're going to stay with Cameron for now.
Bear with me. That's it right there. Back out. Okay, hold on. Maybe it might have lifted. I can still see motion, but I don't see a condensation funnel on it. It would be right in front of us. Actually, I'm seeing descending motion in the center. Maybe it's snaking back down. Okay. Maybe it might have lifted.
Okay.
'Cause I'm not seeing it at the current time. Are you guys seeing it?
I got it.
It would be right in front of us.
Yeah, I got it. Let's double box again. Just got the tornado warning that's still obviously in effect here. The Weather Service has put observed there based on Cameron's report. and 7:45. And Cameron, I mean, there is rotation there, but it's not a stinger, if you will, on radar. It was much hotter right there before it crossed 50, and this is where Cameron was showing it to us live, as it was crossing 50, getting north of 50. So it's still a rotating thunderstorm, but it's not nearly as strong as it was. And I got to admit, from our vantage point, looking at your stream, there's nothing really obvious at this point. And I know that you're between Kinsley and Lewis.
I am going to go up 183 behind it.
Okay, so you're going to head back into Kinsley and then go up 183.
Yeah, because it looks like that's kind of the path it took.
Okay, all right.
Or at least off of the highway, but it'll get me closer.
All right, Cameron, while you do that,
let me get you on this feed.
Let's go back and get you updated on Sheridan County here, and we'll kind of show you what's going on up to the north here. So let me kind of back the view out, and then we'll head on over toward Sheridan County. Whoop, I got to turn on my tracker so I can go back up here and do that. So let's go back over, and we'll start kind of backing out piece by piece by piece, and then we'll get over to northwest Kansas and the tornado warnings that are still ongoing here. Oh, okay, good. They went ahead and downgraded those. So let me go over to Goodland, and we'll look over at the Goodland radar, and we'll look at the base velocity here. And if we can clear this will be fantastic. If we can get these things settling down, then we can start getting you back to some programming at that point. So, okay, so we got the area circulation between Hoxie and Tasco. That's nothing like it was. That is so much weaker. So we're feeling really good about that. And even down here, we're watching. Okay, the Pawnee Edwards, that's the Weather Service continuing a tornado warning for what we just showed you live with Cameron. And Cameron was talking about how that is dissipated. So the Weather Service has extended that one. But right now, we've seen that kind of velocity data settle down. So we're not nearly as concerned about that as we were. Now let me get you over to Cheyenne County for just a second, because they did issue tornado warnings for Cheyenne County. Let's go back in and look at the Doppler radar here. And okay, what they're doing is, see that along that line, little inflection point there, they issued a tornado warning on. All of that's going to move to the northeast. So this is going to stay north of St. Francis, well to the north of Bird City at this point. Let's go over to Pilar Pedraza. Pilar?
Yes, Jay, we just got an email in from a viewer in Gove County who said that Grinnell took a direct hit and that there is damage to the church and multiple homes there in that city. So again, a viewer telling us that Grinnell took a direct hit, that there's damage to a church and multiple homes in that area. We also know that the sheriff's office earlier had told us that the county itself, the sheriff's office, took a direct hit, and that they were out working still, trying to monitor and figure out what was going on and find the damage to get it reported. But obviously they were a little bit hampered by some of that damage. We know that the sirens in Grinnell were not functioning properly. That may or may not have been because of the hit. That's something we're going to have to wait a few days to find out. But definitely it was a big, dangerous situation out there, and we definitely have quite a bit of damage, it looks like, in the city of Grinnell. We also wanted to let you know that we are aware of the fact that we have kind of stepped on the season finale of American Idol. We will get you to that if we can, as soon as we can, but we are going to continue to cover as long as we have tornadoes out there to be a concern. Jay?
All right, Pilar, so we continue to track. This is the latest tornado warning that was issued. And what we're going to do is, remember, Cameron showed it to us live. It was between 50 and 183 right in here. So he was popping back into Kinsley to come back around on 183. But the good news is that area of circulation is much, much weaker than it was. And if this trend continues, we will, unless new tornadoes form, we will start, stepping down our coverage a little bit to see how that goes on. So in terms of just what's going on in terms of the potential for severe weather, the potential for tornadoes, let's go to meteorologist Hannah Dennis. I know she got to look at the watches that we still have in effect.
Yes, that's right. You can kind of see those counties that are highlighted in green. Those are the ones that are under a tornado watch, while the ones highlighted in blue are under a severe thunderstorm watch. So we are still seeing these watches kind of stick around. Northwest Kansas, you can expect those tornado watches to stick around until 9 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Tornado watch in effect for parts of southwest Kansas until 10 p.m. tonight. And then you have that severe thunderstorm watch ranging from north central all the way down to some counties into south central Kansas until 10 p.m. tonight. So we're going to continue to see these storms as we're going more into the overnight hours as we are watching these storms. they still have the potential to spin up tornadoes like we have seen. They still have the chance to see these severe storms, even get very large hail. So far, largest reports we have seen so far are upwards of 2 inches in diameter. So we have seen some pretty considerable size hail so far. Jay?
All right, thanks a lot, Hannah. Let's get back over to that little inbound there, that little outbound, that is starting to wrap back up again. Cameron, let's go ahead and rejoin you again. Okay, I see you're back in Kinsley at this point. It looks like this is starting to reorganize to the northeast of Kinsley, kind of the split where 183 takes off to the north and US 56 takes off towards the northeast. It's only about 2 miles south of that split right now. I know that you've got to kind of get repositioned. Are you on 183 yet, or are you still on 50?
Yeah, I'm on 183 now. Oops.
Yeah, I know you got quite a lot of water going on here too. Okay. I know it's going to be out ahead of you by a little while, but I can already see on the right side of your screen some lowering there. So kind of take us back what you through what you saw with the tornado and where you're headed out now.
Yeah, I'm jumping on 183. I'm going to more or less come right behind it. So earlier, I was pulled off on the side of the road. Basically, the wall cloud was directly in front of me, and I started to notice that it rapidly descended, and I could tell that I was about to planet a tornado. And fun fact, that's actually the closest I've ever been to a tornado before. And so I realized I need to move, and then next thing I know, I see all the storm chasers getting out of their car and pointing behind me. So I look in my rear view, and sure enough, what looked to be a stovepipe tornado just passing the highway. And now here we are as this thing's trying to cycle again. Yep, there it is. Looks pretty disorganized at the moment, but there's your wall cloud. But it is trying to organize again. But yeah, we had a tornado that started off as pretty much a cone tornado, so a pretty healthy sized tornado. And then it got a little bigger. It looked like it may have hit some structures. I saw it hit some sort of something because I saw some debris into the tornado cyclone. It didn't last all that long though, and it lifted. And as you can see now on the right side of the video, we're trying to wrap it up again. One thing I will tell you from experience, if you've never seen a tornado before, sometimes the motions before tornado genesis are actually more amazing than the tornado themselves, because you will just see all of a sudden the clouds just start going on every single direction very quickly, and tornadoes can develop very rapidly. I can tell that it's really trying to get kind of in the right side here, so we need to keep a very close eye on this. Unfortunately, I don't think this storm is done, because basically the last tornado was kind of on a different part of the cell, and now we have a new area of rotation on a different flank of the storm. So this is essentially a new tornado trying to develop. So unfortunately, I have a feeling, well, as we've been saying, the threat of tornadoes will increase as we get closer to sunset, and it is now 7:44 p.m. So
right,
our window for tornadoes is going up.
Okay, let's leave Cameron up. Let's leave the double box up. Let's get you updated on everything going on. Severe thunderstorm warnings, these are outside of KAKE land, and then you get into parts of Dickinson County, Ottawa County. Obviously, we're not paying a lot of attention to the severe thunderstorm warnings because we have tornadoes at this point. So we'll show you the storm that Cameron is on. He's in the process of coming back up US 183, and this is what you're looking at live. You're looking at this part of the thunderstorm. This is what produced the tornado. So earlier, he showed us the tornado live. So let's go over to the velocity data. We're going to use the Dodge City radar at this point. And then we go over the base velocity, and we're going to roll this over the past 30 minutes. So there's where the tornado was crossing 50. You see that little orange stinger there? That's hot outbound. The green is back towards the radar over at Dodge. So there it was, boom, crossing 50. He caught it on the north side. And now that area of circulation is very close to where, 183 shoots off due north, and US 56 continues on over towards Larned. So he's heading for the split right now. And as you look on the right side of his screen, that's where you see the lowering of the base. So if another tornado is going to develop, that's the spot where we're going to see it. So Cameron is perfectly positioned to get us, if it's going to generate another tornado, of exactly where it's going to be. Now the Weather Service still has a tornado warning in effect. Obviously, we don't have a tornado warning at the current time, but for 8 o'clock for Edwards County and for Pawnee County for another 15 minutes. And Cameron, how are you thinking in terms of your comments, just basing on the structure you're seeing, that we're going to get that reorganization and get another tornado?
Well, just since we started talking, you can see a lot of the scud clouds, cloud fragments, getting more and more numerous. We're also starting to notice rotation again below the wall, the lowering. So I would say it's trying. This is kind of what it looked like. Granted, there was a lot more rapid rotation, but I am seeing the gradual rotation, increases in cloud fragments. I think we are trying to do something again. I haven't glanced at the radar in a bit. It doesn't look nearly as impressive, but it's something to certainly, well...
No, trust me, the outbound, the outbound's pretty hot here, and it's right along 56. If you got to guess how far south you are before the split where 183 takes off due north, and you continue on 56 to the northeast?
Let me take a look.
Because that's where we got the a really hot outbound right now. So, yeah, this thing looks like it's trying to reorganize right along 56.
Let's see, I am... Looks like I'm about 4 miles away.
Okay, all right. So yeah, okay, I see where you are now. So you're right. Your position just updated. So yeah, I think 4 miles out ahead of you. Almost pretty much straight on is where the hot outbound is now. So it looks like it's reorganizing literally right in front of your eyes at this point. Okay, while he's there, I'm going to go up and check on what's happening in Sheridan County, about to move into Graham County. Got a severe thunderstorm warning now. Remember that earlier, this is the storm that produced the tornado that struck Grinnell. We have confirmation that Grinnell has been struck by a tornado tonight. So this storm is now down to a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15 for Decatur, for Graham, for Norton, and Sheridan County for the potential for larger hail as that rolls across the eastern part of the county, getting into western parts of Graham County and eventually into Norton County. This has finally gotten disorganized enough where they're not doing the tornado warnings. But still, I'm going to just, like if I'm in Moreland, I'm going to keep an eye on the southern flank of the storm just because the potential for the reorganization with that. And then we slide down and we have the other severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect, including much of Ness County. It doesn't include, Trego County, and for Ellis County it does not include the city of Hayes, but it includes the city of Ellis and over towards Trego County. So this is Ellis County, Trego County, again for the potential of, I think this is probably going to be larger than golf ball as that continues tracking on over to the north. Let's go back over to meteorologist Cameron Venable. Cameron, why don't you give us an update from your position?
Yeah, Jay, I am on 183. I'm about 2-ish miles away from the split. And the area of rotation is actually more so on my left, which unfortunately you guys can't see because it's basically just above the frame. But it is starting to rotate more. So it's something we certainly need to watch. But nothing has really changed since we last checked in. So that's at least some good news.
Okay, I tell you what, at this point in time, we're going to continue to monitor what you're going to do. But Cameron's on the only storm in KAKE land that looks like it could produce a tornado and has a tornado warning on it. So we're going to take it to 8 o'clock, and once we hit 8 o'clock, we're going to go back and rejoin the network at that time. And then as long as we don't have active tornadoes, we will give you frequent updates. But we still have this tornado warning in effect for, basically the threat is out of Edwards County and it's into Pawnee County now. So the tornado warning does not include Larned, but should this redevelop a tornado, they would extend the warning northward, and that would include Larned at this point. You just got the heavy rain. You're going to get into the smaller hail as we continue with this one, as that continues tracking on. And again, we're we've had confirmation that Grinnell did get struck by a tornado tonight, so we're in the process of getting more information on that for you. Let's go back over to the velocity data here, roll it over the past 30 minutes, and yeah, Cameron, I know you got radar there too, and you see that real hot inbound there north of the split with 183 and 56. That hot outbound, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's that, Cameron?
It's definitely trying again. It's definitely trying. I'm moving up again. On
Cameron, looks like you're on the move
closer
again.
To the split.
Maybe I've lost.
I need to fix the camera.
I'm gonna swap out my batteries. Go ahead and take Cameron full.
No, I can hear you. Oh, gotcha. All right, let me fix the camera. Good to go there. All right. Let's keep it going. Also, another thing, when you're identifying storm features, it's sometimes overwhelming. There's a lot of things going on, lots of areas of chaotic motion. So sometimes you might not be looking at this right spot, but there we go again. So there was an area of rotation above me to my left, but the tighter rotation that Jay's talking about is right there. So we will keep a very close eye on that area. But as of right now, it doesn't really look like it's producing at the moment, which is good. But it's getting close again. It's getting that look that it had right before it produced. And once again, I'm on US 183 going north. Is this a puddle? No. Okay, cool.
Yeah, right now there has been a little bit of some chatter of the National Weather Service kind of watching that as of right now. No talks of kind of extending the tornado warning, but from what you're seeing right now, it's going to be interesting to kind of see what they are going to end up doing. I know they are kind of typing in the chat right now. I know they've been so busy just this whole evening with all of the different warnings and everything. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on this.
All right, Cameron.
Yeah, I mean, last time it...
Okay, I finally got
something going on down...
Got my batteries replaced here so I can finally hear you again. So, all right. So I see what you got on over to the right. So you've been rolling again. Have you crossed into Pawnee County yet? Are you into Pawnee County now, or are you still in Edwards? Do you know?
I just passed into Pawnee County now, so
okay.
I am in Pawnee County.
So, and there's the county line right there, and we still are getting very strong outbound and inbound right along 56. So basically, you know, and as you're continuing, so you haven't gotten to the split yet where 183 takes off due north, right?
I am just about to hit that.
Okay, all right. Well, that area of circulation for right now anyway is right on 56, and that continues tracking to the north. And I got to admit, just from our point of view and look at your video, I mean, you look off to the right, you see the darker skies, but it doesn't really look, what I see on radar, you know, I would expect to see something a little different dead ahead of you at this point, because it looks like if it's going to reorganize it, you're shooting straight at it. So again, tell us what you're seeing in front of you.
What do we got there? That looks a lot lower. You guys see that? On the, let me zoom in a little bit. Kind of behind that tree. I'm gonna have to switch it to autofocus real quick. Hold on 1 second. Because basically we need to zoom in closer. That's not working. There may be something trying to go on the left side. It's hard to say. Let's see if I can focus to infinity.
All right, so Cameron is in the process of trying to adjust the focus on the camera as he continues along 56. And right there is the area we're going to continue to watch. So far, no tornado. We still have the tornado warning that it's under for basically Pawnee County now until 8 o'clock. So again, we're only about 6 minutes away from that expiring. So Cameron, if something's going to go down, it's going to happen right in front of you. So I'm really comfortable at this point, once we hit 8 o'clock, if you don't have a tornado in sight, that we're going to step down our coverage and start doing it during the commercial breaks at that point, unless obviously we redevelop a tornado, we get other tornado warnings issued, we'll get back into the severe coverage, the continuous coverage at that point. But no, because as you're moving ahead, have you passed the split with 183 yet? Are you past that?
I did. Do you guys see that? On the left of the video, do you see that?
I do. While you get a little closer.
Is that another tornado?
Can't really tell. Let me quickly go back over to Pilar Pedraza. Pilar, what have you got?
Jay, as you may know, we had that tornado that crossed I-70 near Grinnell. We are now hearing that they're closing portions of I-70 because of downed power lines. KDOT is closing I-70 westbound at Hayes and eastbound at Colby. Now, there is still some traffic on the highway there. The way the closures usually go, that will probably clear in the next half hour or so. But with those power lines down, if they're down over the highway, that's a serious danger. They want folks to be careful, and they're going to try and keep traffic away from it. So until further notice, westbound I-70 is closed at Hayes and eastbound I-70 closed at Colby. That's just some of the damage that we've seen. You know, we've also seen damage in Grinnell. We have viewers there reporting damage to the church and to several houses, as well as damage in Scott City, which is also the same area. So we will continue to monitor that as you guys are monitoring the latest storm developments. Jay, Cameron?
Okay, yeah, let's go back over to Cameron. Cameron got a tornado, right?
Yep, that's another tornado. It's on the leftmost part of the screen. Kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can get tucked in here real quick. But yeah, there's a tornado right there. Let me flip around here. Let's do that. So there's the tornado.
And this is going to be
Looks like
moving
another cone.
Yep, and this is going to be moving pretty much along and just to the north of US 56, crossing near the old Heimberg station,
Yep.
and eventually Frizzell and towards Larned if it holds together. So we do expect the Weather Service to be issuing a new tornado warning momentarily. So this is going to be coming out. You're looking live at meteorologist Cameron Venable, who's chasing a tornado for us now in Pawnee County. This storm first produced a tornado in Edwards County in the vicinity of US 50. Now we've crossed into Pawnee County, same storm, and it's produced yet another tornado. So you're looking live with meteorologist Cameron Venable as he is on that storm. So Cameron, take it away.
Yeah, it looks like another potentially cone tornado. It definitely has a pretty impressive right side. So yeah, it definitely looks like, let me see if I can get in there tighter for you guys. There you go. Yeah, so it looks like another cone tornado is in progress. This looks like it's probably just north of Garfield a little bit. But we do indeed have another tornado in progress as we speak. I am pretty much, let me see, in relation. I'm about 3 miles away from this one, so I'm a lot farther than the last tornado intercept we had. But this does look like another cone tornado is in progress as we speak, likely moving to the north. What have these storms been moving at, Jay? Like 30 miles per hour or so, the tornadoes?
Well, I got to admit, I'd have to pull a track on them for you. Let me see if I can do that over the past 30 minutes here for you, because that area of circulation is now to the north of 56, and
Miles an hour?
25 miles per hour is
yeah.
what the Weather Service is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's moving pretty slow compared to our last one. I'm gonna get a little closer. Yeah, I can definitely see the area of circulation. It doesn't look nearly as defined as it was. You guys aren't going to be able to see it on the video right now because I'm repositioning. But I'm pushing a little more to the north. So once again, this tornado is just off of Highway US 56.
Yeah, that's over to
looks
the
very
north.
close to Garfield.
Yeah, it's off to the north. It's on the northern side of 56 at this point with that area of circulation there. And another thing we're keeping an eye on, looks like another closer, as you get over towards the east here, another little area of circulation is trying to form. This is well to the south of 56 that we'll be keeping an eye on. So as far as Larned goes, the suspect area we're watching is about 8 miles due south. Now where Cameron is, with what he's showing you, is about 9 miles off to the southwest. So if this tightens up, this could be another tornado that's developing here that is well to the south of US 56 versus the one in progress 9 miles off to the southwest. And that tornado is the same circulation that developed the tornado earlier as that was crossing US 50 to the east of Kinsley with that storm. We have other tornado warnings in progress across KAKE land, and we're even still, tracking what Cameron's doing here. But as we head over to northwest Kansas, we still have the severe thunderstorm warning. Now, what's near Moreland? We're going to zoom in. Go ahead and take me full here for a sec, if you don't mind. Let's go over here near Moreland, and we're going to switch over and show you what's going on with the velocity data off Goodland, because this storm has a history of producing some rotation here and disorganized near Studley at this point as it's moving out of Sheridan County into Graham County. But this is the storm that did produce a tornado in Scott County. has a history of producing tornadoes. So if this gets reorganized, we're going to have to watch this closely. Right now, it's just kind of a weak area rotation moving out of Sheridan County into Graham County at this point. So let's slide over and we're going to take a look at some of these other thunderstorms going on here. And we're going to go to the east. Let's get you into parts.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay. Yeah, what do you got, Cameron?
I'm not seeing it as much anymore, but there's, I don't know what storm that is, but that's another wall cloud well to my south. Where is that?
Yeah, that's another area
But I don't see the tornado anymore.
Okay, yeah, that's another area of circulation that we were watching about due south of Larned by about 8 to 9 miles. And that was just starting to get a little better organized at that point that we were keeping an eye on.
Okay, I do not see that tornado anymore that was in progress north of Garfield. I believe it lifted. When I was driving by, thought I saw it kind of roping out in between the trees, but now I do not see it at all. So I have a feeling it lifted.
Okay, all right. Well, that's great news. Let's check out.
And you can hear the tornado sirens.
Yeah. All right, those are spinning down now. All right, so that's the only tornado warning we got. KAKE land at current time that's really showing any kind of good signatures. Let's get over to parts of, look at Stockton over here in Rooks County. We're continuing to keep an eye on other thunderstorms across north central Kansas, but at this point in time, I gotta admit, your storm was really the only one that had a really good circulation. I wanna get back into that one more time before we kind of start spinning down our coverage here. I know they just issued a brand new tornado warning, but Cameron, you got great eyes here and you're not seeing anything in progress at the current time. So let's go back over to the base velocity. And the only thing I would be concerned about, okay, a couple areas here that are suspect, but what Cameron was on has dissipated at this point. So, okay, we're in much better situation. Tell you what, let's get you, it's 8:02, let's get you back over to the program for now. And if new tornadoes develop, we're going to provide continuous coverage once again, and we'll keep you updated with commercial breaks here.